Thank you, Mr. Shئیر. First of all, I would like to thank you for your time, considering the national politics and election time. It is an honor to speak one-on-one with you, and you are a possible future Prime Minister of Canada. My name is Naveed Waraich, and a long-time community worker since 1990s, and I'm also hosting a show. I'm a first-generation immigrant and a Muslim. I have been involved in many community programs and events to bring the community closer. Mr. Shئیر, as a first-generation immigrant and having a pulse on Muslim community, I have a couple of questions and concerns that I'm hoping you as a visionary leader certainly will address. So about affordability, people are happy that the Conservative Party is offering to resolve for affordability. As you know, thousands of local jobs are based on construction industry, and with the halt of this industry, there will be thousands who will find it difficult to run their homes, let alone purchasing one. How do you see it panning out when you will become a Prime Minister, especially for the first-time buyers, and how would you ensure the construction industry will prosper while keeping check on the dangerous hike in housing prices?
Well, thank you very much for the question, and I really appreciate this opportunity to speak to your viewers about our policies. First and foremost, we have to recognize that Justin Trudeau's tax hikes have made life much less affordable. It's really increased the cost of living, and as you mentioned, it's threatened a lot of jobs in the construction industry. We are committed to reworking the stress test. The stress test has had a very negative impact on many aspects of the housing industry. We're also going to bring back 30-year mortgages for first-time home buyers. So that's going to make it much easier for many people to purchase a home. We're also going to prioritize infrastructure spending to open up new areas for development. That's a big part of the housing cost right now, is the fact it takes so long for new homes to be able to be approved and then built. So we're going to work with the municipalities to streamline that process, which means more affordable homes and more construction jobs. We're also going to cancel the federal carbon tax. And we know from the trucking industry to the construction industry, so many small businesses are hit hard by that carbon tax. We're going to scrap it.
Okay. I will start my next question with the example for fear-mongering politics. Immigrants from our one particular country are encouraging their extended families here locally to support one party, so their kids who are on student visas or work permits can seek the permanent residence here. That is very scary when there is usually a myth that Pakistan and other Muslim countries are treated differently when it comes to immigration policies. I am certainly fine with the best screening process, but as a Prime Minister, how will you ensure the fairness of immigration politics, equitable for qualified individuals and families, and favorable to spouses and families, including the parents?
Well, thank you very much for that question. It allows me to dispel some of the rumors and lies that Liberals like to tell about our party. We are a party that believes in immigration. We are an open and inclusive party. Under the previous Conservative government with then Minister of Immigration Jason Kenney, we had some of the highest levels of immigration to Canada in generations. By taking the opportunity like this to tell people that they shouldn't make their vote, they shouldn't make their decision on who to vote for based on what Liberals say, because Liberals don't tell the truth, they break their promises, and they outright lie. As it relates to other countries in interfering or having an influence on our election, it's incredibly important that Canadians make their minds up. That the decision as to who is going to be the Prime Minister and the government of this country is made by Canadians, based on Canadian policies, based on the decisions that we're going to make that impact people living in this country. And that's why it's incredibly important that our national security agencies deal with this, look into it, protect Canadian and protect the integrity of this election. We believe that the immigration system must be based on fairness, orderliness, and compassion. When I speak to new Canadians and they say, hey, it took me 2 or 3 years to come to Canada, and I see someone cross over illegally in Quebec from upstate New York, that's not fair. And my message to you is it is not fair. We're going to close the loophole that's allowing people to come into Canada illegally so we can prioritize resources to process applications for people who are coming to Canada legally. And there will be a path for permanent residency, for students, for temporary foreign workers. We're also going to ensure that there's a component for family reunification and to ensure that Canada continues to do its part to help with refugees. As it relates specifically to Muslims, I'm very proud of the fact that it was the Conservative Party of Canada that had the first Muslim member of Parliament. We value people from all over the world. In our party, we don't look at your faith, we don't look at your religion, we don't look at the color of your skin. We just look at, do you believe in freedom, in prosperity, in balanced budgets and low taxes? And if you do, then you're welcome in our party. And so that's our message. We're going to continue to be an open and inclusive party and treat people equally when they apply to come to Canada. So obviously there are certain, as you mentioned, screening measures in place. We do robust checks to make sure that people, but we do this no matter where people come from, no matter what country they come from. People will be treated equally under a Conservative government.
Being a Muslim, I have always been treated fairly and kindly with Conservatives. I also know that there are Muslims on the Conservative slate, including you just mentioned Salma Atalajan. However, the perception of the Conservative policies is usually anti-Islam, anti-Muslim. And what will you do as a Prime Minister to address that issue so that more Muslims are attracted to the vote for Conservative, as I believe this is the only thing that is stopping thousands of voters to vote Conservatives?
Well, I believe you're correct in saying that there are so many similarities between Muslim Canadians and the Conservative Party. When you look at people who have come to this country, they want their kids to be able to grow in safety. They are very they believe in strong families. They believe in hard work, and those are all Conservative principles. So the key for me is to build those bridges, to send those signals, and to build strong links with the Muslim community all across the country. I've started to do that as leader of the opposition, hosting events on Parliament Hill for the Muslim, for people of the Muslim faith, visiting them in their homes and hearing from them directly to show the signal that we welcome everyone in our party, and we treat everyone equally, and we value the contribution of Muslim Canadians to Canadian society.
We hope to see the perception changes, and a Conservative will work hard with the Muslims and some Muslim group and like-minded to ensure that the picture is more clear to them, because that is the very first thing we deal with when we go to the community. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank you very much.
It was really pleased to meet you.
Pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take care.